피플앤이슈 시간입니다. 오늘은 지난 7년 동안 세계개혁교회 커뮤니언 WCRC의 총무로 사역하면서 세계교회 활동의 중심에 서 있었던 크리스토퍼 퍼거슨 전 총무를 만나 이야기 들어봤습니다.
Yeah, I think not only has the church changed in big ways, but the whole world has changed. And I think the biggest change of the world church is now that the majority of Christians are found in the global south and not in Europe and North America. I think that the change of the world church is that because the world is facing so many big problems, now more and more the church, including in this time of pandemic, has understood how it has to respond to the world's problems. At the same time, I think the church is becoming increasingly polarized and divided. It is reflecting many of the political and economic divisions that the whole society faces. On the other hand, we see new and very exciting moments where God is raising up the church with new possibilities to bring healing and reconciliation. Yes, I think all of us find ourselves now in sharing the same global situation. So in a word, I think all our ministries have to now be prophetic. They have to speak to the broken world. And I think that all our ministries now have to combine to focus not only on the person, but on the society, not only on spiritual needs, but on the well-being of the planet and the people. We have to have all our ministries focusing on Jesus' call that all may have life and have it in abundance. I mean, I think the zeal for the Korean church to bring the gospel to the whole world has been a blessing. But at the same time, I think that I notice that the many churches in Korea still have the idea that they can share their model of church growth with the rest of the world. But I think the new challenge for the Korean church will be to understand what they can learn from the rest of the Christian church, particularly in the global south. And how, so what I think is that the model of Korea to the world now has to be a change where it is Korean churches and the world sitting around a round table, sharing together and building the church that God wants to serve the world. Yeah, I think that you've made the center question about peace, and I think that's absolutely correct. I think that right now that too many of our prayers for peace are focusing on, in fact, building up the idea of war, that against the Russian invasion, we have to bring a strong military response to defeat Russia. I think this is the wrong idea for building peace. I think that the idea for building peace is to demilitarize the situation, that the church has to talk about non-military solutions, and they have to look, as the Bible shows us to do, the whole picture. So Israel was always caught between powerful nations, and that God didn't call us to choose one of the powerful nations against the others, but to really be a light onto all the nations. So right now, I think our role in Korea is to say that if Russia is a problem, also NATO is a problem. Anybody who believes that the world's problems can be solved by military means, I think is incorrect. And I think this is also a message about the Korean Peninsula and about the relationship with China, that the church needs to be working on non-military solutions to global problems. I think as I said, I think that the gospel of good news we see in the beginning of Luke's gospel is peace, and that I think that the evangelization now, the other word for evangelization of North Korea is peace. So I think that evangelization now should be very much focused on creating a peace treaty with the North, to create a situation for the peaceful and democratic reunification of the peninsula, and to make sure that the whole question of denuclearization, first comes peace and then denuclearization, so that if we believe in the gospel of Jesus Christ, we will be working for peace as the way towards introducing Jesus to everyone. Yes, I, for 7 years, was in Germany with the World Community of Reformed Churches, and throughout my ministry, although I'm a Canadian, I've lived and worked and have been a mission worker in Latin America and also in the Middle East, and actually throughout the world, including the United States. Now I have the great privilege to be called to return to South America. My wife and I will be living in Bogota, Colombia, and I will be the international professor at the Reformed University in Barranquilla, Colombia, as well as I've been called as the chancellor of a network of universities of Protestant and evangelical background in Latin America. And our mission and task is to see how the Protestant university can contribute to the social transformation of the whole society.